We're jazzing around this morning. Now, jazz trumpeter Mandla Mlangeni and the Amandla Freedom Ensemble will launch their long-anticipated album, Oratorio of a Forgotten Youth, a musical reflection on the 1976 student protests and the hashtag Fees Must Fall movement, with a live concert at the Wits Great Hall in Johannesburg on the 27th of May this year. The album is the culmination of an extraordinary collaborative effort of Jozi's most formidable jazz, classical and indigenous music artists. Released ahead of Youth Month, we're now joined by trumpeter Mandla Mlangeni, pianist Yonela, Mnala and saxophonist Mohammed Dawjee to share more. Gentlemen, a very good morning. Thank you so much for joining us. Welcome.
Good morning.
Yes. Good to have you on the show this morning. Now, Oratorio of a Forgotten Youth reimagines jazz through the lens of poetry and classical. Share more on this offering.
Definitely. This was started a couple of years back with our first installment in Cape Town, and that's what we're trying to do, fuse all the iterations of that in more of a production that speaks to where we are right now.
Okay.
By actually having those elements, because I mean South Africa is blessed with so many various art forms and various protagonists of those genres.
Yeah. And I'm sure there is a central theme that runs through this project.
Essentially, it speaks to the failed promises of where we find ourselves right now, especially with the government, especially with the strides that we should have achieved or accomplished.
Sure.
And it speaks to the sense of the struggles of the youth of '76 and the struggles of the youth of the current of now.
Yeah. Now, Yonela, I see that you're such a wizard there on the piano. Just take us through your working relationship with Mandla and Mohammed.
Well, I've been working with this gentleman for quite some time. In fact, with Mandla, we actually have 10 years now, from 2013. Yeah. So we went out in Cape Town, we did a couple of tours throughout in Mozambique, and I like how, the music is basically tailor-made towards the people that are going to play it, and also tailor-made for a specific situation. And I like the fact that it is very relevant in terms of the kind of topics that he needs to address, just like the way this music seeks to reflect on the disillusionment of the young people of South Africa and the failed promises that are actually still there and that don't look to be promising to be changed anytime soon.
What was your contribution to this production? Do you also work on the entire production process?
Yes, I helped write a couple of string arrangements, and also I bring with me a choral contingent, which is from students from the East Rand, Katlehong, which is the Vivacious Sound, which is another educational project that I've been embarking on ever since 2008. And of course, also one of my songs is there, and I just helped also with the writing of the article, so some of the scholarly reflections that have to deal with the music in itself.
Okay. Now, Mohammed, I've been following your journey for quite a while now, and I see that you're doing so much magic on the saxophone. Just take us through your contribution to this offering and what really inspired it. How did you get to be a part of it?
I got to work with Mandla, fortunately, for a long time now.
Yes.
And he's been really generous in inviting me into his space to contribute in the form of participating in workshops and learning a little bit more about the tradition that he holds so highly. And as a saxophone player, I've grown in that, and I'm so grateful to have had the opportunity to play on this beautiful album.
Yeah, and speaking of the launch, Mandla, what is the significance of hosting or holding this launch at the Wits Great Hall?
I mean, there's so much significance in that. The Fees Must Fall protest started at Wits, culminated at Wits, and also part of a personal significance is that my father, myself, graduated from the Wits Great Hall, and actually commemorating that. And also commemorating the Africa Day, and bringing that all those elements together. So it will be quite an emotional roller coaster ride.
I can imagine.
Bringing all those elements together, particularly with resonant string quartet, the Vivacious Sounds, and together with the Brother Moves On, which will be a jam-packed evening that's happening on the 27th of May at the Wits Great Hall. And tickets can be purchased online. And if you want to follow us, go to my social media handles,
Okay.
Mandla Mlangeni, and that's where you'll get all the information, and together with Yonela, Mnala, and Mohammed.
Yeah. And I understand that the album will be on vinyl.
Yes,
That
definitely.
is groundbreaking.
Yeah, yeah.
Jeez,
So,
how cool is that?
So yeah, it's been a very, very long process, and for all those.
How's it going to work, though? Yeah.
No, people collect vinyls, and it's actually doing much more better than CDs.
So vinyls are making a comeback.
I'm making the comeback. So if you're a real music aficionado,
Yeah.
you're also a vinyl collector as well. And I think for the first time in more than 30 years, vinyls have actually exceeded CD sales.
Wow.
Yeah, it's actually quite interesting because we are actually reflecting on the youth of 76. So I think there's no better way than having that kind of remembrance through the same art form, through the same product, of listening to the actual thing. So it's very, like you're saying, a roller coaster kind of, moment there.
Yeah, I mean, the whole ensemble, the whole project has got so much historical significance. Was that intentional, Yonela?
It's always is intentional. I think for us to go to know what our future is, we actually have to go back to be able to go forward. And I think we can never go anywhere without understanding and without actually standing on the shoulders of the giants that have really been laboring through, that have been advocating for freedom for a long time. And we need to take the bet in the same way, but we have to always do it reflexively and reflectingly as well.
Yeah. Mohammed, just to pick up on his point, moving forward, will you also be a part of an ensemble that reflects on history, that stands on the shoulders of giants in terms of just reflecting about some of the social ills that we encounter on a daily basis as a nation?
Yeah, most definitely. I think the future is in the past. And the work that we do in the present speaks to all of that.
Yeah.
And hopefully, in some way, the work that we do can point us in directions that open new opportunities and new possibilities for rethinking who we are as a people.
Right. Great stuff. Now, Mandla, just share more details.
So the details for the performance are happening. Tickets can be purchased on Quicket.
Okay.
And then we'll also feature, once again, as I mentioned, we'll feature The Brother Moves On, we'll feature the Resonant String Quartet, and we'll also feature Lesotho Rampolokeng and the Vivacious Sounds. You can find more details if you follow our social handles.
On the socials,
Mandla Mlangeni, Mohammed, Dawjee, Not Another Mo, Yonela, Mnala, and then so that's about it. And then people can also purchase their tickets at the door. And you know where Wits is. Wits is in Braamfontein, 3 Jorrison Street, and So we're looking forward to serenading people and actually empowering people through the music as well.
Most importantly, empowerment of the people.
Yes.
Most importantly. Gentlemen, lovely chatting to you. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Great stuff. Well, we just spoke to trumpeter Mandla Mlangeni, pianist Yonela Mnala, and saxophonist Mohammed Dawjee. It's free on the powerful new album from Mandla Mlangeni and the Amandla Freedom Ensemble titled Oratorio of a Forgotten Youth.